Great, thank you. So we have a lot of car news and truck news in a way. So we want to dedicate this live show, first of all, to talking with you guys.
Yes.
Right? And also the news. And one thing slapped me in the face, I think, last night, which was the unveiling of the BMW XM.
Jawohl, du bist wunderschön. It's a hell of a design, I'll tell you. And Andre and I, off camera, have already been discussing it without throwing furniture because it's polarizing. And BMW likes that. They seem to thrive on having designs that make you react. Often not in the way I think they're hoping. So, but yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah, I know, Nathan, you and our producer, Zach, you guys have strong feelings about the Beaver grill, so to speak.
Yeah, although this isn't a super Beaver grill, it's a minor Beaver grill.
Are you sure about that?
It's
Here,
not.
Okay, I'm just going to put that up.
That's not as big as some of the other Beaver grills.
Okay, so I feel less strongly about it in a negative fashion. But what I do feel strongly about this is that it's first of all, it's an M car. It's a plug-in hybrid M car. It's insanely powerful.
Yeah.
And it looks polarizing, which I think is good because some people will hate it, some people will love it. So should we talk about the specs?
Before we do, I just want to go into one thing, and then I'll let you guys kind of vacillate over this. And that is, aside from the nose, which is polarizing, the minute I saw it from the side, I immediately wrote it off. And the reason why is because if you guys have seen the recent, and we've done some stories on this, the new Toyota electric vehicle,
the BZ4X?
The BZ4X, Omicron, umlaut and all that. That is a ridiculous name. But if you look at that design and you put it side by side with this BMW design, their profile is very similar.
I think it's a trend recently where the wheel arches are exaggerated, right?
Well, they're exaggerated, but they're cut at unusual lines.
Yes.
It's kind of a diamond facet thing, but I think they both failed to a certain degree.
I'm okay with the exaggerated wheel arches.
Yeah, you haven't had enough coffee today.
I don't know if I'm okay with like the sloping. I'm utility focused.
Yeah.
I like functionality, and when you're sloping your roof down and you're cutting off headroom But I know this is not a utility machine.
And it's also a concept.
Yes, but it's previewing a production car.
Right. Now, let's talk about specs. And before we do that, just to let you guys know, we've already tested out a few current model BMW plug-in hybrids. And they have proven to be very efficient and very powerful, the current models.
Yeah, and it's anything from like 3 Series, they have the X5. They have a lot of expertise in this area.
Yeah, they definitely are moving in the right direction, I guess. So let's talk about those specs.
Yeah, and then Zach, you will help us with some questions, right? And comments?
First thing I wanted to cover, for the folks who are saying that the grill looks like 2 big nostrils and that electric cars don't need to breathe. This particular car is not electric, not fully.
It is a hybrid, so there's a gas engine in there that does require some cooling.
Not only is it a gas engine, it's a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 gas engine.
Yes.
So
so the V8 engine by itself is cool.
That's the really cool part, yeah.
There's an electric motor attached to it.
Yes.
740 horsepower.
Which is awesome. I mean,
I know, when the Hummer has 1,000 horsepower, 740 horsepower doesn't seem like that dramatic, but it's the most powerful BMW production car made, or will be when it goes into production.
And it's built to hold lots of people.
And it does need to inhale, a little bit at least.
Yeah, now this is another area of debate. Realistically, most powertrains that are out there nowadays do not require massive grills in order to inhale. In reality, when you're seeing those huge grills, there's only a couple small areas that are actually open to inhale. It's a design element, and that is definitely a design element. I guarantee it. But regardless, it still is. There's a big gas engine there that is powering, the battery along with other things.
Yeah, and also, I would say, if I may derail this just for 30
Go
seconds.
ahead.
Pickup trucks, especially heavy-duty trucks and full-size trucks, need those grills.
That's a different story.
Because you're towing 10,000 pounds up a mountain.
Yeah, they're huffing and puffing.
You need that air. This thing won't be towing 10,000 pounds probably anytime soon.
Or maybe
So,
might.
they say 30 miles of range in all-electric mode. So it does have all-electric driving.
That's the target, at least, for the production model.
That's the target. pricing, I've heard numbers of upwards of $150,000. Is that right, Zach?
That's ridiculous.
I mean, we're not going to know. This is just a concept. So when the production model actually makes it out, we'll see. The X7 tops out over 100 grand. This is
above that.
Flagship above that. So considering it's a plug-in hybrid, yeah, I'd say at least 120s.
Quick question. I'm sure some people might be curious. Do we have a regular transaxle in here, or are we powering the wheels via electric motor? Toyota does that, and there are some other brands that are doing that.
A lot of the actual nitty-gritty specs are still in the works.
Well, because it's a concept. Yeah.
That's right. But the current model, X5, I believe that I drove, was that the X5 hybrid? We were able to put that on the highway, and I got easily 20 miles of range on the highway with all electric, and it's rated even higher than that. So they have some experience doing this and making and I was going to high speeds, by the way. Often hybrids will not allow you to do that.
For example, Van Hammer says that front end on the BMW concept, huge intake, rivals the Boeing 777.
That's well said.
The jet engines. Yeah.
Yeah. How about we move on to the next one, though, that is also a little polarizing. Are you good with that, Zach?
Sure, why not? Andre, kick it off.
Yeah.
So this is another global reveal that we want to stay on top of, because this affects us, of course.
It does.
Genesis is now a growing brand in the U.S.
A really impressive one, too.
Luxury brand.
Yeah.
They're really targeting likes of Lexus and even
Mercedes-Benz.
BMW.
Oh yeah. They're right up there with them.
And they just unveiled their G90, which is their flagship sedan. So although sedans are not, super hot these days, still this is kind of a style and technology tour de force.
Yeah. This would be, the equivalent of the larger, S-Class Mercedes-Benz or the Lexus, the LS and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and one of the components of this vehicle is the fact that they have an option for a long wheelbase version. And I suspect that will be very popular in China, where they like long wheelbase vehicles. They do that actually to a lot of vehicles we don't get here. And I think one of the questions is, are we going to get that in our market?
Yeah, and another question I have is, well, first of all, so when Hyundai came to the U.S., right, decades ago, they were kind of slowly, it was a new company, right?
Well, it was a new company for us.
Yes, and so they were slowly, building on their momentum. They had the warranty system, the really good warranty.
They improved every year.
And now this Genesis, it really, when I first saw it from a distance, I thought it was a Bentley at first.
What big surprise.
Because they have some Bentley designers.
They brought in people from Audi, from Bentley, and a bunch of other companies.
Others,
and what they're doing is they've outsourced, and now they're in-house, these guys who are remarkable designers of extremely high-end European vehicles. And now they're working for Hyundai. So Hyundai is providing some tech, and they're combining that tech with what they're doing. And honestly, Genesis has blown us away since day one. Even when they were still, before the Genesis existed and they were still Hyundai Genesis, they were pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, for example, let's look at the styling. So they have the double horizontal light signature.
Which is sort of their new thing now.
And let us know what you guys think. I'm on board with this design. I
like it better. I think the G70 carries it the best. The new G70 design,
this is a little bit big.
This looks
chunky.
Yeah, it does, but I like it. It's different. And that's the thing, is that at least it's unique and it doesn't look like everything else out there.
So once again, this was a global reveal. We don't have a ton of specs available right now for the US.
We don't have any interior photos either, unfortunately.
Oh.
Which is
just exterior.
I bet if I was LeBron James, I could get those photos. I could make one phone call.
Well, doesn't he do a lot of GMC Hummer stuff?
Yeah, he does that now, doesn't he? I thought he used to do Hyundai Kia.
Oh,
okay,
maybe.
Let's move on.
But we recently reviewed several other Genesis vehicles, like the GV70, which I loved. And it was powerful, it was nice, it was luxurious.
What a great...
The tech was there.
Everything about that thing was great. There were very few issues, very few. The back seat was a little cramped. That's like the only... And that also goes with the sedan as well.
Not on this G90. You could.
The G90 is a little bit different. All three of us could probably sit in the back of that thing and not see each other, which actually would be pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen it in person yet. We haven't been able to sit in it, obviously. So we'll wait and see.
So there's another piece of news before we go to more questions and comments, right?
Yes, indeed.
And this is kind of up your alley, isn't it?
Yeah, Nathan, why don't you lead us off with that one?
God, you guys are terrible. Okay, guys, you ready?
Yes.
Rally Art is back.
What?
Sort of.
Are you talking about the Mitsubishi Rally Art?
That is correct. So Rally Art was established in the early 80s as the spearhead for performance with both rally and off-road racing. And it was an extremely effective division of Mitsubishi, primarily for racing. And over time, that started finding its way into their production vehicles in the past, and they were usually higher spec, higher capacity, or higher performance versions of those vehicles. But it kind of went away and kind of faded out. But now it's back overseas, not here in the United States.
Well, first of all, we don't get the pickup truck. I wish we did.
No, we don't. We don't get that. But we do get a version of their Outlander and Outlander Sport, and those two actually have the Rally Art treatment as well. So the Rally Art treatment currently is going to be overseas, and it's basically a stickers package.
Cosmetic?
So it's all cosmetic. There's no performance upgrades that I could see. There's no performance gains that I could see. I don't even think there was suspension. I didn't see anything on the press release about suspension either.
So, for example, Snooper Moto says appearance package, question mark.
Yeah.
And Michael Smith says sticker art.
That's more on the money.
Sticker art it is. Now that doesn't mean it hurts. Mitsubishi has been hurting me recently for various reasons. So
But still, I want to come back to that a little bit later.
Oh God. Okay. So the thing is, right now they're saying it's just a stickers package or a trim package with some other stuff, by the way, some interior stuff too, I believe. But maybe in the future, with enough demand, not only will we see something like that here, but perhaps they'll actually add a little bit of performance to these vehicles. I would say that because they're known for off-roading and rally racing, setting up these vehicles with a beefier suspension could be the least, should be the least they do. That's what I say.
Yeah, but it has like this red accents in the front, almost like tow hooks, but not. Okay.
So Rally Art back in the day, and recently they revised it with racing because the Rebel Rally actually had a Rally Art version, so to speak.
Or kind of a Dakar livery, right?
Yeah, which was the Dakar livery, and that Dakar livery that it was using was one of the winning liveries. Remember, Mitsubishi still has the record for the most Dakar wins. Yeah.
11, right?
Yeah, I think it's 11, but they also have a huge string of rally wins for WRC Rally and Rally Raid and a whole bunch of other stuff. They've actually won a lot of events we don't even talk about in the States.
By the way, Dakar 2022 is just around the corner.
It is.
Probably within, a month and a half?
January? January, right? Yeah. So that's coming, and it's once again going to be held in Saudi Arabia, and we are going to cover it on TFL Off-Road. And man, it's still one of my absolute favorite races, a bucket list thing for me to witness.
I've never participated
but we know people who have.
Or watched.
We're buddies with people who have.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we're so close. And I think that Andre and I should pilot one of the giant Russian trucks.
UAZ, Buhanka, here we come.
Take your Buhanka, and we'll take it to Dakar. And they have a classics rally that they started last year, where they're bringing back some of their older vehicles to compete.
Including like Porsches.
Oh yeah, Porsches, you name it, Citroën, all that stuff. And the cool part is, they're competing in a separate class, so they're not competing with these newer, higher powered or faster vehicles. They have their own route that's similar to the new route, and you get to watch these things perform. So, on behalf of Mother Russia, I think that we should take your Buhanka and compete in next year's Dakar.
Well, here's what Snooper Moto says. Are we going to see more Buhanka? So we recently did a collaboration with Motoman. This is on TFL Off-Road channel, where actually it was your first chance to drive the Buhanka.
That's
and
right.
Also Motoman's
Yeah.
First chance.
I had to wait months.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, I wanted you to drive it around city, but it's not a city vehicle.
No, we actually got to put it in its element.
It's more a dirt
And really bad roads and driving over peasants and
well, no, I don't think you drive over peasants. No, no, but there will be a little bit more Buhanka. So right now I'm still in the emissions process with it. I'm trying to get it legalized for road use.
Right, which is it has to jump through a
longer process. And I'm taking care of some rust, but you will see it, maybe not immediately, but soon.
Yeah, so I do recommend watching that. Also, there will be another video on Motoman TV on YouTube, and that also features us as well with that vehicle. So stay tuned for that. I think it actually might be coming out soon.
Yes,
Okay.
Motorman is working on that.
So yeah, enough about Rally Art. It's kind of one of those things where I'm a little happy still that at least they're paying attention to that old name, but the fact that it's just stickers is really difficult for me to swallow. So hopefully in the future they'll think about it and upgrade it.
Mark Longoria says I should teach you Russian, but you actually speak a little bit of Russian.
Очень скучно, да?
Да.
Да. Yeah, okay.
See? So Nathan is multilingual. I mean, really, how many languages can you say something in?
I could probably a dozen, but in terms of conversation, just a few.
Okay.
Yeah, half of German, half Russian. So my grandmother spoke Russian, but mostly swore at me, and it's a long story. So
we've been there.
Yeah. But anyway, so let's go into some questions before we wrap up.
And
what
comments?
do you say?
So I would like to touch, as we are looking at some questions from you guys, thank you very much. I wanted to bring up what Nissan has brought to us.
Oh, yeah, that's a big announcement.
On Sunday.
And I think that's an announcement worthy of talking about.
Yeah, so Nissan unveiled their vision for 2030. We've seen several companies do these big presentations now,
right,
where they're kind of future looking, they're looking into
electrification, essentially.
Well, and actually kind of direction for the company,
right,
in a big way. So they unveiled several concepts that are kind of showcasing some of the technologies they're working on, and it has to do with solid state batteries.
Solid state batteries.
Which is like the next generation of batteries that hasn't come yet but will be.
Everybody's working on it, and they'll be longer lasting. This is what they're hoping. Longer lasting, easier to farm and create. Pardon me.
And charge.
And charge. And they will be less of a burden when their time is due and they're done. So the three main vehicles, right, that they debuted.
I think 3 or 4, yeah. But one that caught my eye, and I think it caught your eye too.
Yeah. So
it was called the Nissan Surf Out. Surf Out.
Surf Out, bruh.
Concept, which is a mini truck. It's like a 2-door mini truck with no bulkhead in the cab. So it's a wide open space to the bed. The tailgate comes down. You can put your surfboards in there or whatever it may be. But it's based on their kind of modular electrified platform, right?
Right.
We have a story on TFLtruck.com about this. Also, they unveiled like a convertible, kind of a sport car. Actually, you know what it looks like? Some of these concepts, they look like next iteration of like what they did in the 80s. It's like retro future. Do you see
there is
too?
a little retro vibe. That truck definitely was a retro vibe. The post that I put out every Sunday, Ask Nathan, actually covers stuff like that, and we'll be talking about that as well this Sunday.
That's on TFL Car, right?
That's on TFLcar.com. But Nissan in the past has had some really cool concept trucks that came really close to production. But one of the things they're missing right now is the fact that they don't have a pickup to compete against the new Ford Maverick, which is burning up the airwaves, and also the Hyundai Santa Cruz. And we expect other small pickups to compete in that class. I suspect that what you're looking at here is just a hint of what they're thinking about with an electrified pickup. I mean, they established the modern version of electrification for mass-produced cars. And hell, I even own one. I own a Nissan Leaf. My daughter drives it. They do a good job with that. Their packaging's decent, but they've always had a couple things they needed, one of which was better battery setup, and now it looks like they're hinting towards that. And they needed a small pickup to compete in the small pickup class, and I suspect that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, so not a lot of specifications.
No.
For example, there's a comment here from David Blalock who says solid-state batteries still have some intrinsic problems with electric vehicles, one of which is getting the electricity to charge them. That may be one thing. Of course, there can be renewable sources of electricity. But I think what some people are missing is that solid state batteries, and I'm not a solid state chemist, scientist, but they also use lithium. So you've heard of lithium ion batteries that are currently popular.
Right.
Solid state may also use lithium, maybe in lesser quantities.
I heard it was much lesser quantities because it's hard to farm.
So I mean, there's many different issues, but the point is, we're trying. What the vision for the future, at least for Nissan here, has to do with electrification as well in a big way.
Right.
Cutting emissions at the tailpipe, right? Because all of these are all electric concepts.
That's why they're doing the 2030. That's their aiming.
But I think they need to speed up.
Oh, I know they need to speed up.
Because the 22 Frontier, Nissan Frontier, just came out, and it's popular. I actually see them on the highway quite frequently.
It's a good little truck.
It's popular, it's good, but it's average on its fuel efficiency.
Yeah.
They need to do something more.
It doesn't do anything that outperforms anything else right now. Its towing numbers are under other people. Its payload numbers are average. It doesn't really have anything that makes it stand out. I suspect that Nissan's working on that. They know that this is an important truck. I still think it looks great, and it's it's the smoothest truck I've been in next to, say, a Ridgeline in its class. But Nissan, once again, they don't have anything that competes in this class, in the class of small pickup. And I think that might be something they're seriously considering. Look, they have the Aria, right? And they have an Aria all-wheel drive coming out. They're almost 2 years behind on the Aria, as far as I'm concerned. That thing is way late.
The Mach-E is out. The VW ID4 is out.
Obviously Tesla.
Tesla is out. I mean, Nissan needs to hurry up a little bit here.
They've had a lot of internal problems. I'm not giving them an excuse. I know this for a fact. Internal problems. They've had some money issues and everything else. They've had to sort of restructure. So the point of this debut was to show, hey, we still have our eye on the ball. This is what we're doing, and this is similar to what we're going to produce. And I think that they're all hints of what's coming out in the near future.
Yeah, Stellantis did a similar thing a couple of months back, right? Stellantis talked about Jeep, Ram, some other brands, Dodge, muscle cars, e-muscle. They announced the 2023, the end of the Hellcat, or beyond, just a year after that. So I know it's sad for all of us who love big V8 engines.
Yeah, with Stellantis, what they're doing is they're going to major electrification as well. You're not hearing a lot about it, but bear in mind that this is a company that's kind of new. So Peugeot, who has a lot of experience with electrification, is coming in, and they're starting to work together and trying to mesh with all of the other divisions that were part of FCA.
And Vasily Melnik says he wants us to open a Russian branch for TFL. That's not really up to me.
It's up to me, and I say yes. That's not. It's not a bad idea to
not
broadcast.
A bad idea, but
really
we don't
hard
have
to do.
the bandwidth quite right now.
Yeah, we don't. But hey, we're growing. We're 10 times bigger than we were when we started. Well, I'd say 8 times bigger than we are than when we started in terms of crew, and we're growing every day. So if we get big enough, I would.
It's not out of the question.
It's not out of the question. I mean, rumor has it that we have somebody who can actually commute in that language, and his Russian's excellent.
No,
your dad would make fun of you.
It's super excellent.
But anyway, and we'd love to broadcast in Spanish and perhaps in Chinese. These are places that we know for a fact, countries that we've actually affected before. And perhaps even
China doesn't get YouTube. So
no, they don't. But we used to. No. But we broadcast there.
I know. We used to be there.
Ago. Yeah,
and thanks to you in the big part. But yeah, we want to expand obviously and grow.
Yeah. But the good news is that's what you have the CC for, and you punch that in, and it will translate in some cases. Probably a lot easier translating for him than I, because I talk really fast and I'm trying to slow down. All right, so how about a few questions before we wrap up, Uncle Zach?
Okay, I'll give you something fun to talk about before I turn the corner and we talk about your Montero.
Damn.
Ooh.
Jay Bettis is asking, awaiting VW e-bus, the Buzz.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
But they are building it. I mean, every time I've talked to the Volkswagen folks, who, by the way, they're pretty nice people to talk to, they've said, look, we're working on it. We want to get it out there. We really want it to compete. They want it to be all-wheel drive option. They want it to be something that not only is a commuter for people, but also cargo. And they have a cargo version of it overseas that they established that it will really work. they have a platform for it, and they know that they have a big crowd of people that are interested in it. I think what they're working on now is range. That's my guess, because you're going to have a lot of weight in a minivan style vehicle, a lot of weight. So they want to be competitive.
But it's also one of those vehicles that was a concept years ago, and it just feels like they were just not getting it to market fast enough.
Right.
Just not here yet.
Because, well, we live in America and we don't get the cool stuff until later, or at all. Sorry, but that's the truth. But the Buzz, that could be a different thing, and I really hope they call it the Buzz. But regardless, the bus that they're going to introduce, we are expecting to see it within the next, say, few years or a few months. They haven't told us yet.
We should see something closer to the actual production model within the next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, that last concept that they showed, the cargo one, looked like it was pretty much production to me. So, yeah, that's the best we got on that.
So I want to address one more comment, or maybe two, Zach, and maybe you have a couple more. There's a couple things. Dan Atkinson is also bringing up hydrogen.
Oh, hey, Dan, yeah.
Hey, Dan. Hydrogen power. I recently saw.
Hyundai.
Dan knows this.
Yeah.
Hyundai Xcian semi-truck, which is a hydrogen fuel cell semi that's powered by electricity but generated out of hydrogen.
Right, and its
also,
only byproduct is water.
Yeah. Couple things. So first of all, hydrogen itself is also can be problematic to produce.
Yes.
And the semi-truck also needs batteries, because it needs a little bit of like buffer, right, and a little bit of storage of energy on board. And the electric motors, of course, are very powerful and nice, and it's super quiet. So it's an exciting prospect. Also, Toyota is working on this.
Yeah.
Many others are using battery electric.
General Motors is too, with military vehicles even on concepts.
Yeah. So there is that.
Yeah. Tommy recently produced a video where he had a debacle at a station trying to get hydrogen into a vehicle he was driving. So the infrastructure is crap right now, and that has to improve just to even think about possibly doing it. But Dan, I think if you're mentioning that is something that could be really good for big trucks, I would agree with you, because perhaps we just have filling stations in the future just for the big rigs.
On main interstates or
right,
something like that.
Right,
Yes.
But and you know, keep electrification, regular stuff for the little cars. I don't know, maybe something like that would work.
And also, I don't think, we talk about a lot about electrification, but I don't think we're going to see the death of gasoline or diesel power plants for decades to come, because there's use cases for those powertrains.
Well,
to still
range
exist.
is the baseline right there.
Range and ease of replenishing that range, right?
Exactly, and the speed of replenishing
Speed
it.
of replenishment.
Right.
So
yeah, I would say it's going to be a couple decades before they completely.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, so if you will want a simple gasoline-powered car or truck or pickup, it'll still be available.
Yeah, there's still time.
It'll be choice, I would say.
Yeah, the choice will dry up a little bit. Some companies are fully committing to being all electric within the next few years. Other companies are saying, we'll see. I think Toyota's a really good example, where Toyota's mastering hybrid technology, and they've been some of the top with that. And now they're creeping in with some electric vehicles as well. So you're going to see that as well.
Maybe finally, there's a question about the CX-50. From Morepart. The CX-50 is a new crossover which just was unveiled. And it's, did you see it? It's a little bit more butch.
Yeah, instead of making a road-oriented crossover, this one looks a little bit more off-roady. I don't know too much about it other than the fact that it looks kind of off-roady, and it's it doesn't have anything.
Well, I know who knows about it. Well, first of all, I know a little bit about it.
Oh, yes, you tell us.
But also Zach.
Well, Zach, of course he knows.
He loves Mazdas, of course. But it's current powertrains, right, Zach? So current powertrains, 2.5 liter engines. So they're talking about electrification later.
Right.
It's a little bit more of
right
a
now
design.
it's a SkyActiv engine.
Yes.
Right.
2.5 liter non-turbo and turbo.
6-speed, right?
Yes. Yes. So, but the design, once again, exaggerated wheel arches. Does it sound familiar?
But Mazda does it right. Mazda doesn't make it look like it was done on a chopping board by a 9-year-old who had too much caffeine.
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a 9-year-old on caffeine?
I'm telling you that Mazda just does the exterior design right, and Zach's going to pay me for that. You know that in Latin, Mazda means Zach, right?
Oh, I did not know that.
That's not true. But in terms of the overall design and the way they showed the public, I think it was a really smart idea, because I think people are a little sick and tired of the fact that everything that's Mazda is really a road car, and they're trying to introduce something that's a little bit different. It's got a little bit more beef on it.
Well, they talked about ground clearance, beefier tires,
Right.
The off-road all-wheel drive system.
And their all-wheel drive systems have been proven to be pretty good.
Yeah.
We've taken them up. Check out TFL Off-Road, our video channel, right, on YouTube, and you will see a bunch of Mazdas being taken to their limit and actually succeeding, especially that new push-button system they have where you can kind of engage and it kind of goes to a slightly more off-roady mode.
And they're advancing that mode with this CX-50
That's
too.
what I heard.
Yeah, so it's getting even better. And we want to drive it. We haven't driven it.
Oh, hell yeah.
By the way, a couple of questions about LA Auto Show. I was there. Roman was there.
These guys covered the hell out of it.
And there was a little bit of a change of the auto show because there were fewer manufacturers there. Some of the German manufacturers weren't there. I don't believe Mazda was there.
No,
because
they did their 650 reveal outside the LA.
Right, because many manufacturers did events outside.
Right. Mazda used to do a reveal every year during the LA Auto Show.
And GM used to do it too.
Right, and I think the COVID is one of the reasons why
Yes.
they decided to cut that off. But during the auto show, and what Andre was referring to is that there were all these other events that happened around it. I was at a Honda event,
Yes.
you were at the Porsche event, Roman was at the Land Rover event.
And Jaguar event.
And
yeah.
Jaguar event.
Yeah.
I mean, we were covering that. And then these two maniacs, Roman and this guy.
Yes.
I forgot your name.
Hi.
They went into the LA Auto Show and they jumped on as much stuff as they possibly could. And we have a ton of videos from that.
And at the show, there may not have been a lot of huge news and a lot of unveilings, although Kia and Hyundai showed their concepts as well. But it felt more like a consumer, so a regular, anybody could come in and experience, they had drive events where the Jeeps were going around.
Right.
And the Rams were going around.
And you were the one who mentioned something very interesting about that.
Yes.
Which is that because electrification, this is a good thing, there'll be more cars that you can go to auto shows and they don't have to open the roof or whatever for exhaust. You can just drive these things around a little course because they're electrified. And as such, electric vehicles, there's no poisonous gases that you're inhaling when you're driving around.
Yeah, there was one Ford representative who's doing four-wheel drive launches in a Ford F-150 Lightning.
Yeah, which indoors.
Indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing launching.
That's cool.
So
that's pretty cool.
So there you have it.
Okay.
All right, it's that time. Tell everybody what's going on with your Montero.
All right. Long story short, as you guys know, a few months ago I bought a Montero, Mitsubishi Montero, 2004 model. I always wanted the third generation, and I got one. I've had all the other ones. And at first it was proven to be great, and then it had some extraordinary engine trouble, including leaving me on the side of the road. And after having long discussions with the dealership, which I will not mention their name, who sold it to me, they were working together to fix it. And it's taken a long time because there are no parts in the States for this vehicle. And it has intake issues and some cooling issues, breathing issues, exhaust issues, all in one. So at this point, it's been worked on for about a month now and change. And we're getting close to getting done. When I get it back, it will either be a brand new running vehicle, or if it's really not doing well, I'm just going to sell it off and replace it with something else. That's where we are.
Are you going to rally art it? That's the question.
Actually, I have a license plate little thing in the front that says Rally Art. I did it as a joke. I had no idea that Mitsubishi would take me seriously.
But do you have like a time frame or a day when it will be
When
done?
back? Yeah, I think I have one more week.
Okay.
It's about
Can we do
a
a
week.
video when it's back?
Yes, we'll do a video when it's back.
Okay, so here's at least that we have that.
People are reveling. By the way, Moto Man absolutely hates Mitsubishi, and every Tuesday on Twitter he makes fun of me by finding a Mitsubishi somewhere and taking a picture of it.
Oh, it is Tuesday right now.
Yeah, that's going to happen really soon. That's why once Zach said that, I sighed, because it's like I'm getting hammered. And plus fans are just saying, why did you buy that crap box or whatever? And it's
but there's a Montero enthusiast community that's excited and rejuvenated because of you.
Because of me.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get it back at least long enough for me to take it off road. I want to update it, upgrade it, give it a slightly better suspension, wheels and tires, add a couple things to it, not go crazy.
Supercharge it?
No, I'm not going to touch that engine. Ever. And then eventually I'm going to get rid of it and replace it with something that's going to be a longer term. I just wanted to keep it for a few years and play with it. That was my goal, and use it as a commuter. So this whole issue has really been difficult for us. But you know, we're TFL, so there's usually a vehicle I can drive and test while this thing's in the shop.
Yep.
Okay.
And we have a lot more truck stuff coming. We have
ton.
TFL Top Truck Challenge on TFL Truck, and it will spill over in TFL Off-Road and some other channels as well, of course.
Right.
Because we have the Santa Cruz, the Maverick. We are
the Maverick, the Turbo Maverick with all-wheel drive, by the way.
Yes, so that's coming.
Yeah, because we got rid of the hybrid.
The Frontier and the Tundra, the new one.
The Honda Ridgeline?
And the Honda Ridgeline. So a lot more coming very, very soon.
Yep. And for those of you who missed it, we have a video where we have 2 BMWs on a track with Roman and the former Stig Paul.
That's coming soon too. Yeah.
I thought it was out.
It's coming soon.
No,
It's coming soon.
It was filmed today. Filmed. Is that still a word? Filmed?
Yeah, it is. Well, with
Okay.
us, it's barely a word because it's in the can and ready to go.
Okay.
So guys, thank you for joining us. We're going to sign out. Remember, this does turn into a regular video, so leave your comments, and we will be reading some of those comments as well, and hopefully answering a few. So,
yeah. And we don't have any updates on major trips yet, but soon.
yeah,
we will.
and there will be a few coming up. But now we're getting to the holiday season, things are kind of slowing down a little bit.
Just a bit.
Okay, so adios. See you guys. Farewell. And dash Davanya.
Das Vidanya.
I say it wrong every time. I say
It's
dash.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.